Once I learned to vibrate correctly, I was able to manifest over $35,000 doing what I love in a single month. My goal by the end of this video is to not bore you and overwhelm you with theory and big words and make you more confused by the time you leave this video. My goal is actually to change your vibrational state over the course of the next 20-ish minutes. So I want to make you a promise. By the end of this video, you will unlock the vibrational state and the awareness that it requires to experience abundance, material success, and all the things you desire. But before I can introduce you to that state, I need to introduce you to a few concepts you need to understand so you can properly experience this transformation. Now, in 2022, I was lost, confused, and worried because I never thought I would make it out of $80,000 in debt, battling my addiction with weed and drinking and partying, and just in general, fall victim to the version of myself that I was afraid I would be forever. As I began to dive into spiritual information and experience my dark night of the soul, I unlocked a few key pieces of information that changed everything for me. Now, the first thing I unlocked was this piece of awareness that I realized that version of me that was lost, confused, and worried was actually responsible for creating the experience I was having. I was so focused on who I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be the version of myself that failed my first business. I didn't want to be the version of myself that smoked and ate like shit when I was afraid and worried. I didn't want to be the version of myself that wasn't taking care of my health. But that created a polarity, and I ended up investing my time, energy, and attention and placing my focus on that version of Grant, which I created more of. Now, by changing my thoughts and emotions through studying Dispenza, but more importantly, coming to some real pieces of revelation and the meaning of life and spiritual literature, I was able to realize that if I could change the vibrational state of who I was, our vibration is a product of our thoughts and emotions. And this vibrational state is always communicating with the unified field, the quantum field, the source energy, the divine, right? Let me break this down in two metaphors for you. The electron cloud within the nucleus is 99.9999% emptiness. The universe is filled with emptiness. But this emptiness isn't just nothing. It's energetic potential. And this energetic potential comes in the form of an intelligence, right? It is a natural organizing force. It is the energetic source of all life. And because it is pure potential, we are able to communicate a frequency, which is the rate of our vibration, with that field, and the field will mirror that experience materially in the physical world back to us. So the million-dollar question is, how do we change our vibration? Well, first you need to understand that you are responsible for the life you are experiencing at all times. If we want to change our vibration, we need to change where we place our attention and our energy. Now, as we dive deeper into this video, I'm going to be a man of my word, and I'm going to hold myself to the promise that you will experience the energetic shift you are looking for. But the final piece of information I want to let you know is, if you're able to shift your energy, place your attention on the things that I'm going to help you with, you are going to experience a new version of yourself vibrationally. Things that no longer serve you are going to fall away because they are misaligned. The energy of those old versions of yourself, or the old version of me where I smoked weed, I drank, I was $80,000 in debt, didn't align with the energetic state I was holding. And because it didn't align with me, it fell away. And as I stepped into this unknown, and as I communicated what I want through my thoughts, emotions, actions, and behaviors with this unified field, with this divine intelligence, it started to reflect those things materially back to me because I became a vibrational match for them. But the secret is I became the energy in which I saw it. My financial abundance, going from $80,000 in debt to starting a creator business that did over $1.8 million, I was experiencing that abundance on the conception of the idea before I did any of the work to see it through. I experienced that potential energy in the form of frequency, right? Or an idea or something in my imagination that I held conviction in, and I brought it to life. But fair warning, on your journey of transformation over the course of this video, and ideally with the information you take away from it, you are going to face two traps that you might fall back into on your journey of change, right? Normally, as we begin to embark on a journey of change, we become someone new. But because we become someone new, we think we crossed a finish line. And when we cross this finish line, or we attain the peak on the mountain, we want to celebrate. And when we celebrate, we get back to our old ways, drinking, smoking, eating, being lazy, right? Letting off the gas. You cannot do this. And these are the two ways it's going to trap you. One, you trying to logically understand this information or how you changed or try and predict and control this outcome is a mechanism of a survival trap. You trying to control and predict is your biological hardwiring of survival. Survival creates stress hormones. Stress hormones create incoherence, and incoherence creates mixed signals between your thoughts and your emotions. So the unified field or the divine source doesn't know what to reflect back to you. Now, the final thing before we move on to the shifting of the vibration is this information is a map, but it is not the terrain in which you will navigate. So just know everything I gave you over the last 7 minutes was information. Now, if you'd like to embark on the journey with me, I'd encourage you to stick around as we dive deep into shifting your vibration in real time. Now, we know to shift our vibration, we need to place our attention and our thoughts on something new. And we need to unlock an elevated state of emotion. Now, I've tried everything. I tried to experience the version of myself that would have all the money. I tried to experience the version of myself that would date the girls and travel and do X, Y, and Z and feel like I'm on top of the world. But those sensations didn't last for long because it was an egoic desire of mine. As I attained those things, I realized that that was not what I was looking for. And what I was looking for was found in the process of transformation. So, in order to shift your vibration, I have 4 key pillars you need to live your life with. These 4 key pillars are passed down from the greatest minds, the greatest scientists, the greatest spiritual teachers, the sages, the Jesuses, the Buddhas, the Krishnas. These 4 pillars, I can literally feel my energy shifting right now. I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Like, I can feel the energy because when you start to live in this way, everything you know changes. Now, the first thing I want you to do, 1, just listen to this information. Just embody it. Just reflect on it. Allow the truth to reveal itself and resonate through you. Because if what I am saying is true, and if I will be able to change your vibrational state, it is going to happen effortlessly. So, let go of the old patterns, let go of the old doubt, let go of the self-limiting beliefs, and just be here with me in the present. Take a deep breath. Take another. And let out all those old programs. Shake it out with me. Now let's dive into it. The first thing I want you to do is make sure to rest your attention on the divine. Rest your attention on the quantum, as Dispenza says, the source energy, on God. Now, why is this so important? Because what we place our attention on, we will inherently place our energy and invest our energy into, which we begin to create an electromagnetic frequency reflecting that, which will be created in our life, right? That's the logical, Grant. Now we're going to get out of the way. This source energy is wholeness. It is the energetic potential in which all things are created from. It is a source of unity. It is the thing that connects us all. It is the human condition we share, but not just the human condition, the life that we share with all things. It is in the ocean. It is in the trees. It is in the breeze. It is in the sun that radiates on our skin. It is in the love that we have for our dogs and our animals. This state invokes a sense of trust, a sense of faith. Because when you place your eyes on the divine, when you place your focus on the divine, and you rest easy in the information that there is a greater intelligence guiding all things, it takes the stress off of you. And I hope that's the first immediate shift you feel. That man is equal and divine because it is his natural right. All men are created equal because of our divine creation. It's one of the first things in the Constitution. It is what the United States was built on. But it's bigger than that. Man was created in the image of God, and it is your natural right to live in this state. The next thing is knowing that this source energy is intelligent, that 99.99% energy is potential, and that potential carries information in the form of frequency. So if you want to change your vibrational state, why don't you just let God or the source energy or the most peak forms of energy start to rest in your body? Because when you enter states of meditation, when you journal about this information, when you watch videos like this, you are reprogramming and rewiring your brain to feel it. My goal with you over the course of this video is to feel this energy. Right now I'm before you in just this restful state, in this restorative state, in the state of trust, flow, reverence, and connection to you on the other side of the screen. This is the energy that when we become accustomed to it, we can choose in everyday life. Now, this is why in religions, in the Bible, and the teachings of Jesus, the teachings of Taoism is called the way. But in the Bible, they say Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Let's break that down. The way. This energy is naturally unfolding. When you are conceived, you spend 9 months in your mother's womb. You're not asking the question, hey, Mom, it's been 3 months, I'm ready to come out. Are you ready? No. You trust in your nature. You trust in the way. But as soon as we come out, we edge God out. We let go of that realization that there is a way and a natural cadence to life. Edge God out, E-G-O, ego. When we start to let go of that ego, that individualized perspective of the world, and dissolve our grievances about our work, dissolve the stress and anger and fear we feel over an unpredictable tomorrow, the stress of trying to control all outcomes, the stress of knowing if you're ever going to maximize your potential and squeeze the most out of this finite life we have. When that all dissolves and just drops as an illusion, you're not left with nothing. When you dissolve your identity, you're not left with nothingness. You're left with complete wholeness and connection to the source energy. You need to allow this energy to work through you. It's working through you whether you're aware of it or not. We make our lives harder when we think we have all the answers. We make our lives harder when we operate with that survival mechanism, that ego, that control, trying to predict things, trying to logically calculate. If you haven't noticed, whatever's going on in this life is clearly not logical. It's bigger than we could ever conceive. Now, we made it through our first pillar, resting your attention on the divine. Spending time in meditation, spending time in stillness, finding that wholeness, finding that unity, listening to videos like this, journaling and reflecting. It is an energetic state to be felt. We're through the first pillar. Has your vibration changed? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Based on the pillars we get to, I'm curious to where you'll experience that relief. All right. 2. The answers will reveal themselves. When you start to live in this manner, the questions you have, 1, will change, but 2, the answers will reveal themselves naturally on their own accord. That is what they talk about when you can live with a general sense of knowing. When you are really in tune, you have a knowing, you have a certainty, you have a conviction. And this knowing stems from alignment. Because right now, if you're unlocking this energetic vibration through placing your attention on the divine, it is a resonant frequency. You can feel it. You're going to feel whole. You're going to feel complete. You're going to feel connected. You're going to feel the death of resistance. It's going to feel expansive. It's going to feel like a big relief, like a breath of fresh air. You're going to feel inspired. Inspire is to breathe in life. You're breathing in life by placing your attention on this. When you can not only become aware of this, but consciously choose it in day-to-day life, the answers are going to reveal themselves. Because if this intelligence is naturally organizing all material things and bringing all immaterial energies and frequencies into manifestation on its own accord, you're going to be given insights intuitively to help bring your desires to life. Because if it's something you truly want, that is arising from this frequency. What do they say in the Bible? What is a man to profit the world if he loses his own soul? Over here, this old version of Grant, I was trying to profit the world, but I lost my own soul. Now that I've learned to rest my eyes on the divine and operate in this manner, I can renew myself and restore myself in a trust, in a faith. And I know the things are meant for me will find me because I'm already living the end, like Neville Goddard talks about. I'm already in the state I seek. So if opportunities, people, events, experiences, businesses come my way, and it doesn't make me feel like this, and I have to force it to fit this lens, then it's clearly not for me, because it's effortless to live in this manner. Your intuition will get super strong, because intuition is to intuitively live in alignment with the higher divine, your higher self. Man was created in the image of God. Your most pure state is a reflection of the divine. And the more you choose self-respect and choosing to live in this manner, saying, hey, I'm going to eat healthy because it makes me a clear vessel to feel this. I'm not going to go be around people that have low vibration because I don't like the way it makes me feel. You're not only developing self-respect, but you're developing an intuition, an alignment to follow the path, the way, the life. Answers are going to feel like they were destined for you. They're going to feel like a missing puzzle piece being plopped into place effortlessly. It's going to be instantaneous. You're going to be like, oh my God, that is divine timing. The final thing I want to add about pillar 2 is become a clear vessel for the source. If you really want to change, if you really want to unlock the best version of yourself, you have to invest your time in dissolving the egoic identity, the egoic desires, the version of yourself you no longer want to be. When I was so focused on how to make money, I had a false idol, which was the dollar. I just came out of a business relationship, made a lot of money, and took some time off. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend 3 months, 5 months to figure out what's next for Grant. Whenever I asked the question, how am I gonna make money? I was inherently creating a state of lack that inherently channeled the frequency and vibration of scarcity. The more I focused on that, the more I found that experience, I found that energy in other things. I had to unlock the thing that dissolved that mindset completely. So for you, the piece of advice I would give you through embarking on your entrepreneurial journey, through embarking on your journey of abundance, is find the one way of life that dissolves that need, that dissolves that egoic desire. My ability to create content and connect with you guys and give you this information gives me purpose. I feel like the richest man on earth reading your comments, and I just mean that in every sense of the word. Knowing that I impact one of you in any means, I can die a happy man. I can know that I walk this life with purpose. And the fact that I get to make a career out of it, unfolding on its own accord, at its own pace, I'm so blessed to do so. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I want you to know I truly come from this state. I truly make an effort every day to align Grant with a version of me that rests my attention on the truth, that seeks to intuitively live in alignment, to have the answers revealed to me so I can better serve you all. Which moves me into how you can take aligned action towards your goals, right? So now that you feel this energetic state, I was able to hopefully change your vibration within the first 2 pillars. If not, we still got 3 and 4. But I want to give you some practicals to what living the way the truth and the life looks like, and how it will not only apply to your finances, it'll apply to your relationships at home, the experiences you attract for yourself. But there's a certain way to go about it. They say the path to heaven, the path to the kingdom is narrow. It's actually super broad when you've attuned your state for it. But it is narrow, and you can only look for it in one place, and that is the source. Pillar 3, you must learn to embody the traits of the source. You must learn to embody this natural way of life. These traits are limitless. Because this energy is potential, there is no limitation. All potential realities exist, which means its natural state is ultimate abundance. But this source is always giving. This life source operates through us. Through all cycles of reincarnation, this source energy is guiding the evolution of life itself. It is giving itself selflessly, but also effortlessly. Think about it. This energy is omnipresent. It's everywhere. It's all-knowing. That is its natural state. You do not have to try. You just have to dissolve the illusions and limiting beliefs and old programs that prevent you from seeing the truth. And the only way you do that is by truly allowing this into your life. Source is life affirming, right? You must be giving to life, not taking from it. You cannot be destructive. You cannot be consumptive. You cannot be chaotic. You must selflessly give, invest, because you reap what you sow. But you also must be equal in that service. You cannot just say, hey, I'm gonna come across as a wolf in sheep's clothing just to make some money. I'm just gonna smooth talk people and make them sound like I'm some prophet sent. That doesn't work, because you might trick some humans, but you'll never be able to trick this energy. You'll never be able to trick the source, because it is in an immediate communication with you. It knows your intentions. This is why you must rest easy in this place. You just got to know this is the end. This is the way, the truth, and the life. Embodying the source is a way of life. It is a state of being. It is who you are. How you treat people is a reflection of how you treat yourself. What you think about people is a reflection of what you think about yourself. What you think about your career opportunities is a reflection of what you think about yourself. So if you want to see yourself as limitless, abundant, giving, and effortless, this is the energy you must invite into your life. Now, the fourth pillar. Hopefully by now you've just been resting easy in this state. You're like, Grant, I get it now. I understand why energy is the source of all the things I seek. Because there's no strategy or logic that can get you to where you want to go time and time again. It might work a few times, but it's not going to be the thing that gets you there for try 2, try 3, try 4. Energy is the source of all things. That's why Nikola Tesla said, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Because your level of consciousness, your level of awareness is the thing that is being manifested or reflected in everything you do. If you wake up in the morning and you're feeling lack, you're like, how am I going to pay the bills? Then you go to a coffee shop and you're walking around with your head down, you don't hold the door open for a stranger. That's how your energy is manifesting in things. Versus if you wake up, you feel that fear, you feel that worry, and be like, that doesn't serve me anymore. Let me invest the first 15 minutes of my morning to put myself in this state through journaling or listening to a video like this. And let me embark on my day once I feel this state, once I've been able to awaken the state within, to remember it. Now moving on to pillar 4. The source energy is an organizing power, right? So in point 3, we talked about aligned action is about embodying the source, right? Living a life of service, living a life of giving, no strings attached, right? Because if you're just trying to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, people are going to know when you're going to want to take from them. They're connected to the source too. They get that intuitive feeling. They're like, damn, this person's applying a little too much pressure. They must want something from me. They must need something from me. They must want money from me, or X, Y, and Z other desires. If you can learn to live in this state through embodying it, it's how you're going to show up in everything, right? It's going to show up in your meetings. It's going to show up in the emails you write for your customers. It's going to show up in the time, energy, and attention you place into your products. This energy, because you're embodying the natural traits, is a natural organizing power. This natural organizing power will reaffirm your path. It will give you tools you need to succeed, because you are choosing to live in constant alignment with it. This energy is always looking to express itself. This energy is always looking to evolve, always looking to expand. That's the universe is still expanding. The universe is still expanding. If you can learn to embody the traits of it, it will start to give you tools you need on your journey. Now, your life will begin to unfold in accordance with this way of the divine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on 30 minutes. Felt like I've been here for 5. So, in summary, I started off with talking about I learned to vibrate correctly and manifested $35,000 in 30 days. But it was only when I let go of the vibrational state of who I was not, that version of myself that was worried, lost, and confused, was not the person that was going to get me to the life I wanted to live. And I became aware of that. I realize that I'm responsible for where I place my attention, what I invest my thoughts and emotions into. And as soon as I became aware of it, I embarked on this journey. I've been through a few cycles, let's just say, and this is the information I came back on. You must rest your attention on the divine. Rest your attention on the source energy, the quantum, because it's infinite potential. When you do this, you will start to intuitively align yourself with this frequency, and the answers will reveal themselves to you. And if you're looking to take aligned action and what this looks like in life, you must show up as this version of yourself, no strings attached. You just can't do it because you're going to get an ego payoff of making more money, dating a certain person, getting treated a certain way, getting looked at in a certain way. That's the ego looking for a payoff. That's unsustainable. It must become your natural state, your natural being, how you operate. And when you do this, you can rest assured that the life source will affirm your path and give you the tools you need to thrive. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched me long enough, you know, I frame money and success through the lens of spirituality, because I truly believe when we're stripped away of everything, when we're stripped away of the trophies, the money, the accolades, the social media followers, all that's left is who you are. And who you are is your vibrational state as a product of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions. And if you want to live this life to the fullest degree and maximize your potential, there's no better person to walk that life with than the Creator himself, the source energy that guides all things. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. I got nothing but love for you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.